Hello and welcome to Team 7's report on workplace wellbeing. My name's Oliver Boot and I was a team leader. Firstly, it's important to note that this advice is as broad as possible and there will be variations across different regions, countries and localities. From the original statement, we decided as a group to narrow it down to the 3 key points of wellbeing, mindfulness and health and safety. When staff return to the office, it's crucial that their well-being is at the centre of the organisation's plans. As Neil Usher has argued, we all deserve a great workplace. However, for many organisations, employees will now need a great workplace in order to feel safe and secure. From conducting our research, the themes that continue to appear within well-being, and if you take just one thing from the hackathon, it's that employees need to be offered autonomy. It's vital that organisations recognise that well-being is very personal and not every initiative will work for every individual. Choice, control and individual agency are far more likely to aid employee well-being than any one initiative or package of offerings applied unilaterally. Pre-lockdown, a sense of autonomy had proven benefits to psychological health, including happiness, a sense of being valued within an organisation, and these in turn drove engagement and motivation levels and increased productivity. As part of a return to office, organisations should create frameworks that begin at the team level. Understand what drives individual teams and what works for them in respect to coming back to the office, or indeed for respect to working from home, and build upwards from that. Happy teams will feed into the well-being of the larger office culture. And this leads us nicely onto the next question, which was mindfulness, described and evaluated as a moment-by-moment awareness of our thoughts, feelings, sensations and surroundings. The current pandemic has heightened individuals' fears and uncertainties, not just around the virus, but also around the monumental shifts in the working environment and indeed their day-to-day lives. Now, workplaces can help with this with a multitude of offerings, perhaps dedicated mindfulness or quiet areas, curated team events such as yoga meditation, behavioural nudges and individual support programs, either directly or virtually. The post-COVID workplace will not just be the office. Chances are many of us will be in some sort of hybrid setup for the foreseeable future, which encompasses going into the office and working from home to a far greater extent than we previously did. Employees therefore will need to remain connected to others, so these offerings need to be unilateral, they need to be accessible, not just in the workplace. Additionally, things like virtual coffee breaks or online workouts or even Friday drinks over a video conferencing platform are all valuable tools to improve employee mindfulness and their connection to each other. Much like the wider sense of employee well-being, mindfulness won't have a one-size-fits-all solution, so it's vital that employers check in with staff and get regular feedback. Lastly, we looked at what key health and safety requirements will be needed to ensure employee well-being. It goes without saying that a return to office working can only happen in safe environments. And our report, we've outlined a series of technical and non-technical solutions and measures that could be taken. On the technical side of things, I will keep that as brief as possible because much of the advice is pre-existing and would have already been done as part of the ongoing maintenance of an asset. However, but it does need to be noted that buildings are not designed to be switched off for any length of time, and there is a likelihood of some degradation on your site if this has been the case. Additionally, maintenance that was missed due to lockdown must now be completed. All essential services must be inspected, tested and approved, as well as any backup generators or UPSs that you may have in your locations. All other statutory compliances must be completed, and lifts will be inspected and signed off. Buildings will need to be flushed and water systems inspected for correct chemical composition. You can't have a situation where we're avoiding the spread of COVID-19 only to give everybody Legionnaire's disease because of stagnant water. These checks are likely to bring up remedial works, so ensure your supply chain is ready and you have sufficient time to undertake these before moving employees back into the office. Cleaning is probably where the biggest changes will be seen. Touch points such as doors, desks, lifts and other common areas will need increased cleaning. Full daily disinfecting cleaning may not be required, but most definitely the frequency and nature of your office cleaning schedules will need to be increased. To improve staff wellbeing, it may be beneficial to make this highly visible. Organisations often go to lengths to ensure that cleaning is done out of hours and out of sight. However, employees will want to see this increased cleaning activity and will as a reassurance and could be hugely beneficial to them, feeling that the organisations are taking steps to safeguard their health. Equally, personal hygiene will continue to be really important and likely the biggest factor in reducing spread of COVID-19 in the workplace. Staff will expect hand washing and sanitising products to be readily available and not just in bathrooms, also on desks and at key entry and exit points. Again, you'll need to work with your supply chain to ensure availability. And more broadly, offices will need to be reconfigured to allow for social distancing measures. Keeping 2 meters apart will necessitate the closing of some workstations, repurposing smaller meeting rooms as individual offices, and the removal of self-service tea and coffee facilities in shared kitchens. Additionally, those organisations that provide catering to their employees may need to look at reduced menus or the removal of buffet-style options altogether. With moving staff back into the office, one potential solution which enables organisations to adhere to social distancing guidelines whilst remaining within their current real estate confinements is to split the organisation into teams, for example, Team A and Team B. Team A works in the office 2 meters apart and potentially with staggered start times, whilst Team B is working from home. After 2 weeks, or a time frame that suits an individual organisation, a full decontamination clean is undertaken and the team switch. So Team B comes into the office and Team A is working from home. This avoids respective teams cross-contaminating each other, but also keeps offices running. Additionally, if somebody falls ill in Team A, all of Team A can be sent home, a full decontamination clean undertaken, and Team B brought into the office after a day or so. Once again, these measures must be opt-in for employees as far as possible. Staff should be consulted in the mobilisation of these policies, and giving employees agency over their actions helps not only to care for their physical health but their mental well-being. And finally, employees need to know what happens if they fall ill. Confinement areas should be set up and staff know who they speak to, where they go and what happens in the event that they fall ill at work. Continually get feedback and modify these initiatives. Thanks very much.